So I have way less energy now than I did when I got right out of dance class, when I wanted to make my video. But I'm going to do it now. It's like 9 p.m. It's fine. So today was pretty great. I walked 4 miles today. And the majority of that was at like 1:15 p.m. today. Want to know why? Of course you do. So, I worked today from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. I got out of work at 1:05. And then when I was working, I ended up, my academic advisor had come in, and I ended up making her coffee, and she was like, "Oh, hey, Morgan." I was like, "Oh my gosh, hi." I didn't recognize her at first because I had only seen her for 20 minutes in my life so far, so I can't really blame myself. But I remembered, oh my gosh, music theory. I'm not officially on the roster yet because I've yet to have her sign my drop ad slip for to the scheduling people. People are being super loud. But, to sign my drop ad sheet because I've had it filled out for a whole week now. But she's in a building I never go in, and I never see her anyway, so I don't think about it, So I had her do that. So now I'm going to get to go to the scheduling office hopefully tomorrow and turn that in and officially be on the schedule. And so, oh yeah, so I went from after work. I got out of work. I was like, okay, it's time to see her. And I was like, wait a minute, I don't have the paper. And so I walked all the way to Kittlesby from work, super fast there, and then super fast to her. And the reason I was going super fast was because we had agreed to meet at 1:30, and then I remembered my first voice lesson at 1:30. So it was 1:10 when I got out of Bunch Rock, and I had to walk all the way to Kittlesby, grab the paper out of my room, which is at the very end of the hallway in this dorm, downstairs, and then go walk through the hall, up the stairs, out of Kittlesby, all the way to her building in the music department, in the little library building, and then have her sign it. It took 10 seconds, but then walk all the way to the Hall of Music, which is on another side. Within 15 minutes, I had to do all of that. I had to walk across campus 3 times. It was a stressful time. I was exhausted. I got to my voice lesson, though, at exactly 1:30. I was perfectly on time. Yeah, but my first private voice lesson. Oh my goodness. It was so great. So I got there, and I had the Amazon package from my parents that they had sent. They had gotten something on Amazon. They got me purple pens because I love them and I use them all the time. I use them more than I do pencils because I never use pencils. I only use purple pens when I can. And sent me a laminated Russian grammar brochure booklet thing. It's great. Thank you. So, but I hadn't opened it yet because I had to I dashed to the post office. That's why it took me so long to leave Bunch Rock, because I went there, picked up the package, zoomed over and everything. So I was still holding everything because I wanted to open it soon. So I was like, I'm going to take it with me. And so I got there and I was holding the Amazon package and my water bottle. And in another hand, I had hot matcha that I had made at work because I was like, I want to try that because I tasted the matcha powder and it's super sweet here. In England, it was really bitter and stuff. I was like, oh, I'll try it here. And the people I were working with was like, it's cold outside, so you should do it warm, because I wanted to do it ice, but I was like, So I tried it warm. But while I was walking super fast, I ended up spilling it all over me, my arms, my hands. It was painful. Yay! But it tasted so good. Oh, wow. It was amazing. But, so I had all of that stuff, and I had my coat on, and I was probably sweaty or something, like, I think I was, and I was still in my work uniform, and it was a little bit, but, so she was like, come in, sit yourself down, sit down, we'll let you breathe. We were gonna talk first anyway. So she had me tell her a bit about myself. So basically what I said was like, my personality, I like to say, matches my hair. Just big, different, colorful, out there. And then she asked me about how I came, like, decided, like, what brought me to Olaf. And so I explained that whole process. And the funny story about how I got their flyer and then mixed up where Minnesota and Montana are and threw it away because I'm stupid at geography. Even though I know now, like, I'll never forget now. It's such a stupid story. Oh, I hate that. But, I told her about that, and then how, revolving around Allstate, how, learning about Dr. Anton Armstrong, and then finding out getting to work under him, and, like, with that group, like, making that kind of music is something that I want to do. That is what the pinnacle of my life will be, is if I get to work with him, like, on a daily basis, like, or, like, whatever, they do Monday, Wednesday, Friday in St. Ole Choir, I think. But if I could, like, I will literally do, like, anything to get in there. And so I guess paying, like, whatever it costs to go here a year is an okay sacrifice to go here. But I, like, the humility and the connections and the community. Why can't I talk? Community here. Oh my goodness. It's so great. Yeah, and so after we talked about that, I talked about how, like, she asked me what, like, voice part I sing in choir, and I was like, well, now I'm singing soprano, and she goes, oh, what about that? And so I explained how, like, I loved singing alto, like, alto too, and, like, but, after doing auditions and stuff and working with the directors, apparently I'm a soprano, because it feels more comfortable now that I've been paying more attention to it, like, it does feel more healthy. And so she was like, oh, that's really interesting, and then asked me what kind of music I like to sing, and I mentioned how I love German, and that Schubert's, like, my favorite composer for vocal stuff, and then Tchaikovsky's instrumental, but that's a whole other story. And she's like, yeah, I understand this. Yeah, and so she's like, that's very interesting, I'll look into that kind of thing for you. And I was like, oh, wow. But how, like, Erlkönig is my favorite song, like, ever, but that I can't sing the very low father notes, but I can, like, I love that song. If you can ever, like, have time to look it up, search up Erlkönig. I'm going to spell it Erlkonig. And for the O, you can either spell it with an O or with an O with the umlauts. YouTube won't care either way. But it'll be the video with, it'll be, like, gray with, like, silhouette-looking things, like shadow puppets or whatever. It is the most intense. Oh, it's such a good song. It's such a good story. It's so good. It's beautiful. But, so yeah, she was, and then, with, like, 15 minutes left, like, halfway through, she brought me to the piano, and she's like, well, we're gonna have you sing a little bit. And then, she ended up working with my voice, and she taught me something really cool about how, like, how we were singing on an E, and so, she explained to me how the E that she said, I can tell that you have done a ton of choir, and she knew this was my first lesson, so that's why she was, like, telling me specific stuff about it, but, like, she said, I can tell you've been doing a lot of choir, because the E you're singing is a very, choir-y E, because the way they have you sing it, the way your lips are, like, E, like that, it, like, the way that pulls down, it kind of closes off a certain part of your throat where, like, the color of your voice comes from. And they do that in choir because in choir you're supposed to have, like, more of a unified sound. And so they try to take away the color so that people can blend. And so she had me try to sing in a different way to have more space and more color in my voice. And so I did that, and it sounded so cool. And then she made me feel so good. I felt so comfortable in there. And, like, she was telling me, oh my gosh, it made me feel so cool. So she said, she had me singing and trying different things, and she said, that sound you have is so amazing. And that she said, I can already tell just from listening to you that you have a much bigger sound than we even already have right now. And I was like, what? And that since being in choir, you're used to more suppressing your voice, and so by working with me and figuring out, like, and working with different parts of, like, making space or whatever, that I can learn to have, like, by opening up certain space, I'll be able to, like, get more vibrato. And she said you're already singing, like, the sound you have right now is gorgeous and it's healthy. Like, you are doing nothing, so far as I can tell, that is not healthy. Like, I was like, I sound good, I sound healthy, and she said, the amount of discipline in your voice, like, I can hear that, like, it is there and it is amazing. And that we just need to more work on, like, getting you comfortable singing in a more solo-y style, because you obviously, like, you've explored it a little bit, but you haven't, like, had that, since this is, like, your first private lesson, so you don't totally have that yet, and that's what we're going to be working on, and I'm excited to develop that with you. And I'm like, this woman, bless her, I love her, she's so great, and I've only spent a half an hour with her so far. So excited. And now she assigned me I need to be working 30 to 45 minutes a day practicing. And that I need to, for next week, she said to visit some older songs that I like and work on those, and then I'll sing those for her next week. And then she'll be working on figuring out some repertoire for me to, like, because I'm going to be doing a level 2 jury. There are 3 levels. The first one is for, like, non-music majors, and for music majors whose voice is a secondary instrument. And level 2 is what I'm going to do, and it's for people who are BAs or music education BMs, Bachelor of Musics. And so I'm going to be, she said, and then the third level, the harder one, is for people who are a Bachelor of Music for vocal performance. And so, like, of course, you know, they're going to have the hardest one because that's literally what their career's going to be. But I'm literally going to be doing a jury that somebody who is already in the major would be doing. But when I go in, she's going to, I'm going to have forms that I will have filled out that she said she's going to have me bring. And then she's going to tell the other people, she's going to be like, okay, so just so you know, she is auditioning. And they're going to be like, oh, okay. And then they'll listen and write notes, and hopefully I get an approval. But things are coming together, and I literally, like, felt so good after that. After that lesson. So I'm getting, like, really happy right now. Like, after that lesson, I feel so much better. So much better about everything. Oh my goodness. And dance today. So after the lesson, I went and sat in a practice room for a while and worked on some things. And then I went quickly and changed for dance and stuff. And we started working on, like, more motion stuff and choreography. And that was really cool. I really enjoyed it. And then afterwards, I asked the professor, because I wanted to do the splits my whole life. So I was like, I came up to him after we finished, and I was like, hey, I have a question. I've been wanting to improve my flexibility for a long time, and I was wondering if you have any, like, healthy ways that you wouldn't mind sharing for me to go about that. And he was like, yeah. And so it was him, me, and my friend Nina in the class. We went back into the studio where we were at, and he showed me a bunch of different stretches to do, and, like, told me a routine that I should try. And Nina was also trying it with me. And how in a month you'll be able to see, like, a good amount of progress, but I need to be very meticulous about it, like, make sure I keep up with the routine. And it's little, like, 30-second holding a certain stretch for a while, and that should really build up your flexibility over time, like little increments at a time. But that I should like have my roommate or whatever like take a picture of me first starting, and then as it goes on, like maybe every couple weeks or so, like take another picture and just see how I'm doing. So, and then also my friend Grace, she can do the splits, and she said she would, because she didn't know that the dance studios have like, you can sign up for half-hour slots when there aren't classes, and you can sign up for different things. Like that's how like Swing Club and everything gets to use the studio, and the Bacchae, like the play auditions and musical auditions and stuff, can use the studios. And so I was like, yeah, you can use those. And she was like, oh my gosh, yeah. And I was like, wait. And we were talking, she was like, I'll help you with the splits. Like, we can do that. We can be accountability buddies. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you. So I'm excited for that. We're having a great time. I'm enjoying things now. Yeah. Thank you for all the encouragement all you guys have been sending me. Feeling really good.